We now welcome in CBS Sports golf analyst Mark Immelman to give us some thoughts here on the thrilling finish at this fantastic tournament. Two really battles happening throughout the round. Justin Thomas giving up a three-shot lead multiple times. Really hard to put this one into words, Mark. When you think about this day, what really jumps off the page at you?
The truth, Joe, is I'm still trying to catch my breath. I mean, I didn't even have that final group. I thought Dottie Pepper did a great job back there with that final trio. I was out front watching Chase Seaford. But, you know, just the energy of the day, which was kind of crazy. You felt it, but there were no galleries to really amplify what was going on behind, because early in the day, Hovland looks like the guy who's going to win this all. Then Morikawa hits a few fantastic shots. You highlight those. Then Justin Thomas comes around through the middle of the day, and there's this nip and tuck. But I've got to hand it to Collin Morikawa. Let's not forget that just a few short weeks ago, he missed a putt that was like 4.5 feet, I believe it was, there in the playoff at the Colonial in the Charles Schwab Challenge. Now all of a sudden he makes a bomb to top JT in the playoff, and then finally ices one for the victory. So golf has got a beautiful way sometimes of sort of repaying people for doing good work, and he has. And it's a well-deserved victory from a fantastic young player.
The second of what I assume will be many victories out of a fantastic player in Collin Morikawa. He now has more victories than missed cuts on the PGA Tour, so quite the feat for the young man. But as we project him forward, Mark, I know we can't get ahead of ourselves here, but is this a guy we can expect to contend come major time?
Oh, absolutely. He's got a game that's built for major championships, Joe. He drives the ball accurately. He's sneaky long off the tee. I mean, we saw him keep it up with Justin Thomas a few times there in the final round. But the thing that's always jumped out about Morikawa is the iron game, which is prolific. He's ironed out the putting woes. He and his coach Rick Sessinghouse have stumbled upon something, and he made putts that have mattered. But this week, he showed his pedigree mentally and emotionally. He was essentially dead in the water there on 13 after the bogey, and JT was making a run. But to get up there and hit a driver to 15 feet on a dangerous hole after Justin Thomas has laid up, that takes a bunch of gumption. And then JT makes the eagle on 15. Now all of a sudden you're like, well, this is JT's thing to lose, really. And Collin Morikawa just digs in there, makes a good 3 on 16, makes a spectacular 3 on 17, and then makes par on 18 to force this thing to extra time. So he showed us what he has inside. And to win major championships and events at the highest level, to me, it's more than the hands and feet stuff. It's what you got head and heart-wise, and he has got that stuff in spades also, apparently.
Yeah, I don't care where you're at, what tournament you're playing in, a 66 on Sunday and then a win in a playoff, as you said, between the ears and in the heart. Strong is Collin Morikawa, but there is a flip side to that coin. Justin Thomas now left to lick the wounds, and he has to do so quickly as we refocus here for the Memorial in just a few days. We get started on Thursday with a star-studded field. Do you think that this result at all hinders JT moving forward, or is it a little bit of fire for his game?
No, I think it's a little fire. There's always, you know, that bulletin board material and the things, the little chips on the shoulder that drive these guys. And he'll smart some from this loss because he had his opportunities. But he's a smart young man. He's a veteran at age 27. I mean, the guy's tender, but he's still got the brain of a multiple major champion. And so he'll get together with his dad and his coach, and his caddy, I should say, Jimmy Johnson. They'll reassess the day, and I'm sure they'll come out just fine when the Memorial rolls around. Because with the Memorial, it'll be more like major championship conditions. The greens are expected to be a little faster, rough will be up, so this play playing to JT's hands. And look, he still shot 19 under par, right? It's not like he's playing poorly. So I think he's got a lot to build on.
And we are excited to watch the decision-making all week long by some of those bombers at number 14. It really was a crossroads at the workday. It will likely play a huge role here as they come down the stretch at the Memorial next week. But we do have to make mention of that third name on the leaderboard throughout the week. Viktor Hovland, just a fantastic week out there at the workday, unable to keep pace with Thomas and Morikawa. But your assessment of his game over these 4 days?
My assessment is that Viktor Hovland will get his chance and he will get his victory. Look, everyone's trying to stay injury-free really at this level because we know he's got the physical tools and the gifts. He drives the ball long and He's a beautiful iron player. If there is a chink in the armor, it's around the greens, and we saw that in the final day. And that weakness kind of got exposed a little bit under the final group pressure in the final round. But man, this guy has got everything realized, and he will continue to iron out the kinks. He's hooked up with a short game instructor to work that sort of stuff out, because look, power, charisma, really sharp brain on his shoulders for a young man. Victor Hovland will get his share of that, I'm convinced.
Morikawa, Hovland, and Justin Thomas all in the field, a star-studded field at the Memorial. Before we get there, because I do want your thoughts on the week to come, plenty of storylines out there for us, but put a stamp on the Workday Charity Open for us. A first-time event on tour, but one that gave us great theater down the stretch here. When you look back on it weeks, days, years from now, how will you remember this tournament?
Well, I'll remember it for Workday's opening foray into PGA Tour event sponsorship as an absolutely resounding success. A fantastic golf course, a wonderful title sponsor. You had a stellar leaderboard. All the players we were expecting to play well, kind of John Rahm aside, ascended to the top of the leaderboard. So for Workday, it was a huge success. And I think it was just a beautiful appetite wetter for the Memorial Tournament upcoming.
That it was, and let's go that direction. Storylines abound. We get Tiger in the field. We get 18 more at the beautiful Muirfield Village. We get the storyline of Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau, who have had their way at one another on social media. Perhaps we get them in a pairing. As we look forward to next week, Mark, where are your eyes going in these multitude of options that we get?
Oh, well, look, I mean, one's eyes naturally gravitate to Tiger Woods making the return. First return since the Genesis way back earlier this year in LA. Obviously, didn't play Bay Hill. Players' Championship was cancelled. He wasn't in the field there. So he was battling with injury. And then Woods, of course, played in the match. He looked pretty solid, but that's only one round. You know, it's one round kind of around your home golf course for Tiger Woods, too, at the medalist. But he's coming back to a happy hunting ground in Muirfield Village. The swing looked pretty free, looked pretty fluid the last time I saw him on television. So you expect he'll be healthy, you expect he will be well. My only question is the Memorial Tournament typically plays like a major championship. The greens are 13.5 plus. They are fast, they're firm, the rough is punitive, you've got to drive it straight. So he is diving right back into major championship type environments. So to me, that is still a big storyline with respect to Bryson and to Brooks and to Justin Thomas and to Rory. I mean, the Rory McIlroy, the list just goes on and on.
Mark Immelman, we will come to you for all the answers throughout the week as we play 72 more at Jack's Place. We appreciate the insight as always, Mark. And for plenty more, including the final round at the Workday Charity Open and the preview of the upcoming Memorial, it's the First Cut Podcast. Our team of CBS sports analysts weigh in on all things golf, giving you winning picks and beyond. Download and subscribe today, the First Cut Podcast.